So most people know who this is. It's the lovely Margaret Sanger. Yes, Woman and the New Race. Yeah, she sure was. So she was tied to eugenics. She was really one of the biggest advocates and promoters of that. Yes, especially in the poor communities and black communities. There's a reason that there's the Planned Parenthoods are strategically placed in the hood in poor areas. Yeah, and you're told it's about reproductive health. No, it's really about eugenics, and eugenics is weeding, as she says, we need to control the weeds. Yes, but there's many quotes by Margaret Sanger. I'll get into them. My question would be, I wonder why the American Nurses Association put her in the Nursing Hall of Fame. You know? Because she was a racist. She was behind sterilization, that there's defectives that shouldn't be allowed to populate. Yeah, and she was a nurse. So when American Nurses Association came out many years ago, or in 2020, like they all did in lockstep, as if any of them were sorry, and said, we're sorry for our racist history, then you would think that the deeds that would come from that, if they were truly sorry, would be, one, you would remove her from the Hall of Fame. But they still want to highlight her because they've changed the terms, they changed their words. So now it's about reproductive health, or it's been that, but they just don't advocate as much for abortion, you could say, but they want women to know all their options. Well, why are you still promoting eugenics? I'm not so, let me say this, I'm not so against abortion that I think that people that are raped, incest, that should be allowed. I'm not so hardcore. But to be used as contraceptive, like what she wanted, to be used to seed the gene pool so you can weed out the defectives. No, if you're truly an organization that's learned from your racist ways, then you should get rid of the people that you put in your Hall of Fame that were racist. And not only racist, she's a disgrace to nursing. She is. She supported eugenics. That's probably why I haven't really done very well here. I mean, I'm a good nurse, but go up against some of these radicals. Like, it makes no sense, some of this shit. Like, the transgenderism on children. It just baffles me how any nurse can think, yeah, let's do that. But the whole association is, so. But she also, when she opened her first clinic, and it was obviously very controversial because they were handing out pessaries. Yes, and pessaries, just, you could say contraceptives, but they're any of various devices worn in the vagina to support or correct. This was something like back in the Greek days they used for like urinary stuff. But it also can be long, like to cause an abortion. So she was just handing these out, these devices. Yeah. But it really all stemmed from here. It stems from here. Every nursing book that I have, and every nurse knows that, or they can look. I mean, maybe there's a couple you don't. We have that symbol, that tree. The only thing is it's got the ribbon around the tree, sort of. It's usually a small emblem somewhere in your nursing book, whatever nursing book. It just doesn't say eugenics, but it's the same emblem. Yeah. So we've been operating on the eugenics plan, been being taught by the eugenics plan. I'm just saying it's something that needs to be addressed, because it's why when we have American Nurses Association is a disease to the nursing profession. They are. If those nurses are not wise enough to see how what they have gone along with is wrong with the transgenderism on children, if they're not wise enough to see that if they want to really be believed that they are wanting to change their racist history, then you don't continue to promote Margaret Sanger. You remove her from your Hall of Fame. You start heading down the right road. This was Ethel Byrne. Many people don't know about her. She was an American progressive era radical feminist. Yes, Margaret Sanger was the same. Yeah, I hate the feminist movement. She was the younger, because they don't care about anybody. They always have hidden agendas. She was the younger sister of birth control activist Margaret Sanger and assisted her in her work. Yes, there were 3 women. The other woman wasn't related to them, but she was like a theater person from the theater. Interesting, yeah. They were all arrested because, so it says here, the first clinic that Margaret Sanger had opened was highly controversial due to the enforcement of the Comstock laws. Byrne and Sanger distributed pessaries and would show their clients how to use this method of contraception in direct violation of these laws. It's also, I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess if American Nurses Association, they would have been around back then, so they were supporting this, huh? Says a lot about their organization. I mean, it's just not very, like, she's not a doctor, but she was in with the whole money. This all is because of money. So these are just to name a few of the rich, wealthy people that we're seeing that there's this problem. We have this mass immigration, what do you know? But there's this problem. We have all these poor people, and they're ruining my scenery. You know, all your over money hungry, greedy elites, and we must do something about the poor and the indigent. We must do something. Yeah, what they did was they sterilized them. Yeah, they did, with Congress's help. Yeah, so Carnegie Institute of Washington, Rockefeller Foundation, Harriman Foundation, Kellogg Foundation. There's many more you can add to that list. If you're awake, you know the other names. Instead of them using their money for good, like to actually help another human being, they decided, no, we don't need this. And if we have more of that in society, and they'll go on to produce how they are, then the world will just not be to our liking. So we need to put our money to science and eugenics and figure out how to seed the gene pool and pull out the weeds. And Margaret Sanger helped them do that. Eugenical sterilization in the United States. A report of the Psychopathic Laboratory of the Municipal Court of Chicago. Of course it's Chicago. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. The Psychopathic Research Institute is at University of Illinois, Chicago. I've mentioned them a couple times, yeah. We're like just unethical, all of this is. That's why American Nurses Association, they're a disease on the profession, because until you remove this leadership, I think you need to just dismantle the association. I think they've proven they're not going to turn from their ways. I mean, they're as arrogant to get up and say we want to apologize for our racist ways, but yet they still are promoting Margaret Sanger's ideas. Yeah, look. This is from American Nurses Association. Margaret Sanger's nursing legacy. Margaret Sanger changed the world for millions of women by ensuring them reproductive freedom. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. This is how much they lie. No, there's women even that are still alive today, black women. They were sterilized because of this program. They're lying, and I'm going to do my next video about all the quotes directly from Sanger so people understand exactly who she was. She was a racist. She was a eugenics. While the Planned Parenthood Federation still is a controversial issue today, Sanger dedicated her life to what she believed was right. She never deviated from her purpose until she effected change. She is one of the most well-known and famous nurses in history. No, she's a disgrace to the nursing profession. No nurse should believe in eugenics. Like, yet you have the right to decide seeding the gene pool. But this is what's wrong. Until we get away from science and nursing gets away from operating on old ideas of eugenics, that you get to decide who's worthy enough to live, then, well, we'll continue to go into the toilet.